So my name is Caleb, and I worked as a mechanic. And someone claims I was at this house, even though I was a few miles away when you found me hours later today.
Oh, the Domino's delivery guy's here. Playback here. Wait, what was that? What was that? So I guess part of the added twist to this is the electrical storm that must have been going on during this interrogation. So one, it's like a gameplay excuse element, but that does kind of help explain why the videos get to be all shaky and distorted and scrambled at times. That looked as if he was having a seizure for a moment or something, or some kind of epilepsy. I haven't seen everything in the case, but that shaking, that seizure, whatever, is definitely weird. Thanks, Captain. This is the first time I'm saying it. Because your searching skills are shit compared to mine. But at the very least, he did admit, probably just whether it's true or not, unknown, but he is admitting to being Caleb, and he worked as an automotive at that Jerry's garage thing. What was the search term? Okay, so those were all on their Jerry. Oh, if I click on Caleb... Okay, those are the starting videos, okay. Wait, Lieutenant Cole himself was being... Okay. Suspect. Lieutenant Jeffrey Cole.
Interference. 1 second. Alright, we're ready.
We got a full house.
Yeah.
Wait, he's a suspect?
All the comings and goings surrounding the news. Appreciate you doing this in here since the main floor is so busy and loud today.
Ah, no problem. Although I do feel like a suspect sitting in this room. I told them we needed more than one trick room for times like these, when the city really goes to hell.
Small town, small priority, I guess.
Exactly.
Alright, go ahead whenever you're ready, Jeff.
We're rolling. My name is Lieutenant Jeffrey Colton. I'm a police officer with Port Landsend Municipal Authority, badge number 20145. Here to give a statement, deposition as to what I witnessed at 221 First Avenue East, the Morgan House, here in town this morning. Today is October 31st, 2012. I'm entering this statement on my own accord and submit it for official record. Yesterday morning, we received a call to respond to dispatch approximately 9:15. Somebody walked by the house in the morning, described a mid-sized, two-story Victorian house typical of the area. They had noticed a window next to the front door was shattered and the front door was open, so they called us in to assume that it was a break-in. I was in the area, so I pulled up and was the first responder to the scene. The neighbor who called in is an older resident who lives down the street, and with the summer rentals here, she thought someone might have broken in looking for something to steal. It happens occasionally here in town.
Okay, we're gonna get a good picture now of the house. Ooh, look at that. I would call that rustic. Not sure how this will aid in my investigation at this time, however. A broken window. I mean, the whole place looks broken. How would you even know?
So I walked up to the house, which is older, a bit run down, maybe just uncared for. Weeds, overgrown bushes, that sort of thing. Walked up the path, up to the stoop, and onto the front porch, immediately noticing damage to the front door. As I reported, I confirmed the damage, shattered glass, splintered wood. It looked broken into. The door was still closed and I could see inside through the white curtain. I made the decision to enter the premises at that point, yanked open the door, still thinking I was entering a robbery scene. You know, we don't get a lot of violent crime here, so I had no reason to think otherwise. The odd bar fight, theft. Anyway, nothing too serious.
I want to look at the subtitles on these.
So I walked up.
Older, bit run down. Bushes sort of thing. Walk up the path. Noticing damage to the front door. Okay. That's what I was trying to confirm.
So I called out I was entering, announcing myself. The front hallway was narrow, dark, even though it was light outside. Well, overcast. Inside it was messy. The doors to the side rooms, dining room, and the sitting room were closed, and some leaves had blown in all the way. I know college kids are staying there now, and there was a typical college kids things and stuff lying around. Bag of clothes, sports equipment, empty beer boxes, that sort of stuff. At the end of the hall, the living room door was closed, but it was damaged. A lot of houses in the neighborhood are old with doors to each room and all have the same or similar layout, so I felt comfortable walking and checking on things. The living rooms are always in the back here. So I walked past the staircase, down the narrow hall, and about halfway down, I noticed some gashes on the wall, like on the front door, and I thought it was soy sauce. Or my mind went there to soy sauce because we had a neighborhood prowler a few years ago who still is actually in jail on another crime. He worked at the local sub shop, but he would film vacationers through their windows. He apparently became so obsessed with this group of guys staying next to him that he broke into their place, sprayed condiments all over the walls, and did all sorts of weird things in the rooms and the bathrooms. When we searched his place, he had pictures of him everywhere. Really weird guy. Anyway, that's where my mind went when I saw the stains on the walls. It was condiments. The gashes didn't really raise my alarm either. It was dark, so I thought maybe the kids were having too much fun with the drinking and the partying and whatnot, and the things that got out of hand. So I'm halfway down the entrance hallway, and it's really dark. And I get close to the living room, right to the living room door. At my feet was a large, dark, sticky stain coming from the door. But it was so dark, I couldn't really see what it was. I pushed the door open, and the smell was very strong. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know if you've ever smelled it. That distinctive smell of the inside of an animal, people in this case.
They're animals.
I struggled to open the door because something was in the way, debris. Once I did, inside, immediately in front of me were the victims on the floor, and on the furniture, and the walls, everywhere.
Hello, Anemone. We are detectives. Stains, soy sauce. Adding some keywords to my notes here so I can reference them. We're like a little over an hour into this messy, whatever the shit's going on. Welcome. Every now and then we are dropping a couple frames because shit's booked. There are crime scene photos showing the extent of the victim's injuries. You need to see to believe. Excuse me. Hope you don't have a weak stomach. I don't. I'm talking to the tech guys right now to make sure you're connected to everything we have on the case. Not sure why it's not popping up right now. Hopefully just a glitch. So I don't get to see that information yet, huh? Let's type in soy. Okay, that's the only time he mentioned soy. Sub, as in sub shop, Subway, or nothing. Stain. Nothing. About the door. Nothing. What about Colby? Okay, so here we have other way around now. We're gonna start with this guy.
The guy seems a little wacko. What a waste of space. Imagine he did a bunch of inhalants or worse with a memory like that. If he's actually even telling the truth. Could still be completely bluffing, although he's about as dumb as a bag of rocks.
Well, his memory seems to be coming back to him. Slowly.
Something's coming back all right. And that thing on his back, all over
The burns?
burns or disease.
I've seen you out there working with other homeless. You never saw him before today either.
Look, I know a few of them. Helps me keep an eye on what's going on in town. Don't think I've seen this guy though before.
The witness remembers him pretty well.
Yeah, she identified him. It's a big help.
I don't know if we searched witness, but let me just add that into the mess. Now, let's see what we as guilds here.
Colby Bell? Maybe it's a nickname.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about what we know about Colby Bell. Our records indicate a Colby Joseph Bell went missing in Minnetonka, Minnesota in 1995 when he was 19 years old. His family filed a missing persons report a day after Colby had a fight with his brother over a car engine in front of the family's home. Colby walked out of the front door without his shoes on and was never seen by them again. Colby's described as suffering from bipolar disorder, psychomotor agitation, with the note uncontrollable motor skills often seen in the hands, catatonia, geez, are you on benzos? And mood disorders, for which he was also prescribed medication. 2 years later, a Minnesota State Patrol officer found a man fitting Colby's description, asleep on the side of the road, possibly intoxicated. Surprise, surprise. He said he was heading east towards Pittsburgh. Okay, yada, yada, yada. And went on his way. Well, looks like you're not in Minnesota anymore, Colby.
Yeah, this isn't Kansas either. We still don't know if he might be either Caleb or Colby.
I prefer Caleb.
Okay, whatever, Caleb. Take your medication lately, Caleb? The on-call doctor gave us these to give to you. Go ahead, take them. Maybe it will help with your selective memory. Go on.
Yeah, you pill popper, go pop some pills.
So where the hell have you been for the last 20 years?
Give him something to wash it down with.
I don't know. I don't know who I am.
Let's go over the history as we know it. This was just sent in from Minnesota. Your rap sheet goes pretty far back. Not quite the upstanding citizen, let's put it that way. Okay, here we go. Minor trouble for a few years. Shoplifting, vandalism, trespassing, fighting, suspicious death of an animal. You killed your dog?
Hey, that dog had it
Public
coming.
intoxication, failure to appear, all right, whatever. It looks like you're advanced from there. I wish I could say your rap sheet precedes you, but you're in a different league now. Why we have nothing for 20 years, I don't know. Maybe you just got really good at hiding your crimes.
I didn't kill that dog. Found it in a field and someone said we killed him.
Looks like your memories are turning.
Yeah, there must be some good pills. Medication. That dog ate his pizza. Oh, then that dog had it coming. Hey, okay, so we got a piece of evidence for missing persons, but it's... Wait, Caleb Joseph Bell, not Colby. And it sounds like they're hinting at like bipolar or I don't know if it was schizophrenia or whatever, but sounds like there's going to be a hell of a twist here. Right now I'm under the belief that there may be two people, brothers, that look, essentially they're going to look very similar. Born in 1976. Dun, dun, dun. Identify marks, none. Nicknames. Oh, Caleb, Colby. So wait, the missing persons report says he identifies as Caleb and or Colby. Caleb was at home with his brother. What was the brother's name? That would be very important right now. I went to get a part for the family car. Never 95, but never returned. It is possible he traveled to Pennsylvania that same year, not had any contact. Alright, let's try medication. No. Pills? I wonder if I need an S. Oh, not piss. I don't know how to spell Pittsburgh. Travel. Missing as in missing persons? No. Witness. I'm gonna just search Caleb, since we get videos that might also include the lieutenant now. Nothing. Okay. What about just the last name? The Bell thing might have... Oh, never mind. I searched missing. What else? Kind of curious if they go into any of his medical stuff. Like disorder. Alright. That's a crapshoot. Wait a minute. What about the Jerry's Garage thing? I think I already searched that earlier. Alright. I don't know. Seemed odd that he was talking about like the soy sauce thing in terms of like scratches on the front door of the house and on like the walls and stuff. Bodies themselves. No. Hey, we've got something here. I found a lead, guys. Let's do this. This one's audio only. 11:57.
At that point, pulled out my gun, called out once again, identified myself as an officer of the law, and that backup was en route. I called for backup on my radio at that point, but now we know it didn't go through. The house was dead. It was very quiet, almost peaceful. It was pretty eerie. First time I'd ever seen anything like that. I don't know what I expected, but it was odd how quiet it was. I froze. Everything was frozen in time in that room, it seemed. Wasn't expecting the silence. Bizarrely, there were white sheets over everything. The kids must have placed them there. All the furniture, the ground, everything. The students were located in various positions, or parts of them. It was like a bomb went off. Looking at the bodies, I had difficulty even processing what I was looking at. It was a mess. They've now been identified as all 4 of the deceased victims. DOA was reported by paramedics. The names are confirmed as Emily Thomas, Brian Watson, Gregory Sims, and Alana Morgan. All students from the University of Western Washington. When I say I couldn't tell what I was looking at the time, I mean I couldn't tell if it was 2 victims, 1, or what. It was an absolute mess. They'd offer counselors for us due to the severity of the scene and the victim's injuries, and I'm considering it. I can make out huge, wide gashes were present too from what I assume was 1 or multiple cutting instruments. Pieces everywhere. Like I said, they seem more like bomb victims, almost fake, or like art somehow. I don't really know how else to say it, but what was left was just unreal. It didn't look real. I've never seen anything like it in all my years on the force. Then in the corner of the room, one of these shapes, bodies, moved just a little. I took 2 steps towards it, them, and then it screamed. She screamed. Put the fear of God in me.
Oh, right, the survivor.
That noise, piercing that silence in the room. So I realized we had a survivor and rushed over to the only living victim, Heather.
We have a name for her.
Heather Gardner.
I'm adding that. Heather's the survivor. So we didn't know. I don't think we had a name before. I think I've tried searching bodies earlier and we didn't get anything, but there was white sheets / because he talked earlier about like white curtains, and I forgot about that. I don't know if it'll be relevant. Alright, this medication thing, useless, witness, whatever. Here, let's use her full name then. Heather, just for my notes. I'll go on that next, but actually that might be in the evidence now. Hey, I think we got a video. Because we have this. It's just an image. These were the victims, and the news didn't report the name of the survivor. This just in. I'm wearing a tie.
New tonight, shocking news coming out of Port Landsend. The bodies of 4 deceased Western Washington students have been found in a house on the town's east side, with reports of a single survivor being rushed to St. Michael's Hospital this morning. Authorities aren't releasing any details on what may have caused the deaths in this otherwise sleepy vacation community, but anonymous sources described it as one of the most horrific crime scenes they've ever come across. All we know about the survivor is that she's a female in her 20s, in critical condition, with her wounds being listed as egregious by local paramedics.
Egregious?
More on this story as it develops.
That's a fancy word. Surprised you read it off your teleprompter without screwing it up. We haven't tried searching the hospital thing. So the way I understand it too is when I'm searching terms, only the active names that we have videos that'll show up. So if a third name comes in, then there might be new results for my old search terms. Okay, so we've got a few possible directions to go, but we got so many videos here, I want to get more. Oh, just to keep you up to date, when it started, it was just the beanie guy and rough story. He had amnesia, and he was found in the house and brought in, and then, I guess, arrested and all that.
I had no idea if there was still an active threat in the area, so I tried to provide support as best I could, not really knowing where all the injuries had occurred on Heather's body. I was pretty useless, just telling her to stay calm while radioing for help. Again, on my uniform, but there was interference. I felt like I was being watched somehow too, and given the gravity of the scene, felt like I needed support. So I quickly exited the house, back down the hallway, out the front door, and called for more emergency responders from my patrol car. Once backup arrived, Terry came, and we went through the house and cleared it room by room, not finding any other victims. The fellows taken to the scene all confirmed what I described. We had 4 dead, who we couldn't identify until next of kin were contacted. All we knew right away was they were likely young. 3 were basically macerated, and I don't think there's official confirmation yet. Too soon. The coroner's still working on it, although I know he's having trouble.
Coroner's actually just like recruiting other people so we could like lift up a coffin and do the like dance. Dun, 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 dun. It's the only good thing that's come out of 2020 is the damn coffin dance. Great stuff. Autopsy. And forensics. I'm just adding some words because I'm gonna quickly forget shit.
You didn't wait for more backup? More cavalry? Just Terry was enough?
At that point, Terry and I decided to check the rest of the house.
Terry.
Just in case anyone else was in the house, injured, or even if we could still catch the person, or persons, who did this. We were careful. We went in slowly and cleared each room. Guns drawn. The front room was really the place besides the living room that had the signs that a struggle had occurred. There was a broken lamp on the floor, still on, and there was a chair on its side. But that was it. To me, it indicated someone was in the room, got surprised, possibly fought back, and then left quickly. So the ground floor was clear, apart from the living room, obviously. At that point, we proceeded upstairs. Got to the first room to the right of the stairs, a small guest room. The door was slightly open, lights were on, and found nothing. Nothing. It was completely empty. There's a bathroom across from that room, and there was nothing. Nobody in there either, just empty. All the rooms were like that, weirdly empty with the lights on. But I swear a dark cloud was following us in every room in that house. Not a real cloud, but there was eel in there. Here's the layout.
I want to add this in here. Or, let's see. We'll call them backup. Which means there might be stuff in there. And the electrical storm that's been a thing. What kind of evidence do we get here? Okay, so we have a layout of the house. Oh, he came in through here. Front room. I think. Yeah, I don't know more than that. Alright, whatever.
Honestly, the house looked perfectly fine in some ways. Probably how it looked before the attack. And other areas look like complete war zones. It seems like it could have been some psychotic.
Or personal grudge?
And it's not like we noticed anything obviously missing.
Or could have been a robbery.
I mean, there's still debate amongst the officers about how this whole thing could have happened. You know, the timeline.
What even happened?
The basic logistics. How the killer did all of that to all of them.
Or killers.
Well, yeah, there could be more than one. My current guess is the survivor is probably the actual killer, but who knows? Where were you on the night you survived that gruesome murder, Heather? Oh, right, you were at...
We've gone over the preliminary timeline of events based on the coroner's findings and our own. This is subject to change, of course. Basically, we're ruling out robbery now since nothing seems to be missing. Still could have been an attempted, though. Okay, so we think the intruder came into the house in the front. And this could be anywhere between 12 and 4 a.m. since the bodies have been dead for several hours when we arrived this morning. Maybe even later. We think. I mean, we know most of the students were in the back in the living room when the initial attack began. Forensics so far hasn't helped much, which is odd considering they're supposed to be the national experts from Seattle. Maybe not. There's a lot of blood in that room. The window shattered, indicating it was quite physical. There could have been a confrontation in the front room, where we found the broken lamp and a victim or victims that fled to the living room. Maybe someone even walked in on the attack. It's unclear why or if Heather was spared intentionally, but she survived, thank God. It's possible she was left for dead or the attacker was interrupting during the attack and fled. No other witnesses have come forward thus far and have almost completely blanketed the neighborhood and local communities appearing for help.
Feels like Heather might be the next point of interest to start searching, but actually I want to see if anything comes up if I look at search terms in relation to the storm, because that one's kind of interesting to me. Oh, something. Audio only, though.
Strange day.
Strange couple of days.
Yeah. Can't say I've worked many cases like this one.
Yeah.
It's not making it any easier with the technical problems we're having.
The equipment being on the fritz?
Yeah. It's like, I just wish one thing would go at least right on this case.
Things are going all right.
Yeah, I guess. You think these electrical problems are normal?
What do you mean?
I mean, it's just kind of odd that they didn't happen before.
Yeah, I think it's more of a case of the weather we've been having this week, but I agree. All this stuff's been happening since we picked up that Caleb guy. We know what he gets up to.
Yeah, but he seems in a daze too. Definitely what he's saying isn't too reliable. But I hope that everything we recorded is okay. We can go over the footage.
Sure.
Let's make a point to do that.
See? There it goes again. Who knows what the spotty powers cause our electrical systems to do? Could have the occasional tech issue.
Like a glitch? If the recording's too messed up, we can still talk to them while they're here. Or we can bring them in again.
I guess, yeah. Let's work with what we have now, though. We can look at the tape later. I'm sure it's fine.
Glitches can be pretty weird too.
Yeah.
You ever slow a glitch down in a video? Most of the time it's nothing. But every once in a while,
Every once in a while?
it messes with your head.
Can't say I've had that experience.
Maybe Caleb has that beady electrical superpower, and he just hasn't learned to control it yet. Or somebody in the PD is more likely a culprit, and they are conveniently causing an issue. I can either look up glitch or maybe weather. Is that how you spell weather? Yeah. It's like sometimes you think that like weather, you're like, no, that's not the right weather. Glitch. Nope. Probably not. Got me some results in other games we've played. Yeah, see, nothing. Like right now, there was no mention of anything like that, so if there was, maybe not. Alright, so should I pursue down seeing if Terry is a thing, or the witness, Heather? I'm gonna start with Terry. Because that was the backup, I think, that arrived. So it was his partner at during the event. We got something.
Terry's deposition has been filed. If you'd like to look it over, you can. Pretty much is exactly what I've been saying. Terry's deposition has been...
The deposition. Let's see if I could search that. I was actually just checking how to spell it. Because I'm like, I don't know, there's no spell correct. Spell check. Well, it is a small indie game. The developers, I don't think I saw any other games listed on their Steam, so... I would not expect a lot out of it as a result. Did we get anything with Heather? Yes, we do.
After clearing the house, paramedics arrived, went inside. We then established identities from the victims belonging to the house. I now know that the victim I found alive was Heather Gardner. As mentioned, she was alive, barely breathing on her side, and we got a partial heartbeat when we found her. She had a lot of cuts and other wounds, and we immediately rushed her to St. Michael's Hospital in critical condition by the EMTs. She must have been a fighter, though. We pulled the skin from under her nails, and she had bruising on her arms and other defensive wounds.
Wait, why'd you pull the
She
skin
was
under
far
her
back in
nails?
the living room when she confronted the attacker, Rick. She was in bad shape. I honestly can't believe she's alive. Must have been quite the attack.
Why the hell is he pulling skin from under her nails? Were they interrogating her on the way to the hospital? She's a fighter. She nearly died, and then she survived all the weird torture we did to her nails on the way to the hospital.
Heather was in critical condition when she arrived. Honestly, didn't think she was going to survive when I found her.
Her hair was singed slightly too.
Singed.
These damn power surges. Ever since lightning storms we've been having all this month, I'll talk to maintenance.
The place is falling apart.
Time to hit up city council for some cash.
Because that will work, right?
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah, if they were pulling any... Because, yeah, like, if she was a victim and scratching at somebody, then it would be somebody else's skin. I like my idea better. They're just like, yeah, I bet you this is gonna hurt. I want to see that
Heather
glitch.
was in critical condition.
So the light itself appeared to be flickering in the building. Then the video starts to get wonky. Does that almost look like a face? Or is my brain's facial recognition failing me? Scan lines. Interlacing. And all is well. Okay, so... Because earlier he said, like, isn't it weird when you go look at a glitch frame by frame? Looks like a cat lady? Oh, fuck it. It's kind of like when you're looking at clouds, you start seeing shapes of things. That's a cognitive failure based on our brain. A furry did it. Huh. Maybe Heather was a furry. I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Unless you killed 4 people and sent one to a hospital and you're framing a potentially innocent man.
The victims in the living room, or at least from what was discernible, possibly indicated someone had mutilated the bodies while they were living, or as corpses. There were remains, blood, everything strewn about the whole room, aside from 2 of them. The photos show exactly what we came across. I just can't imagine why or how they could have ended up that way. Unclear if there was a struggle in the room at this point. It looks like the window glass was shattered or blown out too. The preliminary timeline is being formulated.
Wait, do you think someone shattered the windows from the inside, or something blew up inside the room, killing them?
Deliberate shattering seems unlikely, but we can't rule anything out. Maybe an explosion went off. Sure. I don't know.
Maybe there was a gas leak in the house, but fire damage was minimal. Maybe from the candles. There were knife wounds and gashes too, so someone must have done that to them up close and personal.
Yeah. I guess we just don't know yet.
'Cause he did say when he walked in it looked as if a bomb had gone off type of thing. I wonder, can we search the skin for, like, skin samples or something along those lines? There is a result.
We ran a lot of the blood we found at the house already. The blood matches the victim's type so far with no foreign blood identified. With Heather and the blood and the skin found underneath her nails, it's all coming back as AB negative.
AB
negative.
That's pretty rare around here, right?
Yeah, so I'm thinking with any suspects, we draw their blood, and if it comes back AB negative, we have our murderer.
No, you just have a
Sure, I
suspect.
guess. Can only do that if they're arrested. But it could be worth pursuing.
Don't we have a... what was this one? His lab results. right? I think differential exam of blood cells, urine, and crap, I don't think. Oh, his blood type is AB positive. Hello. So, Caleb is very unlikely to be the killer unless there was more than one assailant or something along those lines. Yeah, they're looking for AB negative. If this was this is what I think it was, then yeah, it's not his blood type. So it's not his skin cells that were under her nails. That doesn't immediately rule him out completely, and this was the test that they did on the knife, and basically there was no blood found, and then they're sending it to somewhere else for a better test. Let's see. Blackbird did talk about the bomb, and I think that would be a worthwhile direction to pursue. So either bomb or explosion, detonation. Hey, look at that. 2 results. I don't even have to spell it like the correct way, which was explosion. Some shit like that, I don't know. I apologize.
So, we still don't have any theory about the explosion, as far as what might have caused a small amount of burning, right?
Right. We just found a couple of candles and that's it. Fire damage isn't located near all of the candles necessarily.
Any idea what that means?
Well, if the candles cause the fire damage, you'd expect wax, part of the wick nearby, for example. Burn traces. We don't have that here.
It's weird. And no evidence of anything that could have exploded either.
Yeah, no chemical residue, nothing.
Just an explosion out of midair, like a shockwave.
Like a superpower. Maybe he did like an electrical burst of energy that displaced the atmosphere. Because if it was a bomb, for example, there would be some kind of shrapnel. And if it was caused by the candle flames, then yeah, there should have been evidence of that. His tattoo? Did anyone spot something?
So,
Are you talking about the dude on the right? Oh, he does have a tattoo, doesn't he? Good observation. Also, there's Jesus on his Pepsi can. I'm not sponsored by Pepsi or by Jesus. And I don't know what this guy's drinking. Maybe Cherry Coke or Mr. Pibb. That is a good observation, though. I don't know if it'll help us in any way, but I like that. Or it might be that tattoo stuff comes into play later as we learn more. Because I think there's going to be more names that are going to end up here as we deepen our investigation. Yeah, I did look towards the end of the video. Ooh, I hope you're not having a long delay on the video feed. I was getting a lot of dropped packets earlier, or dropped frames, so it may have synchronized you further away from real time. My eyes are pretty glued to the subtitles.
did you go through the explosives response course in your training when you joined the force?
Yeah, I did. Became mandatory around that time. We had all those terrorist things going on overseas.
Did you apply any of that training here?
There's nothing to work with here.
Yeah, I guess 2 of the victims seemed unaffected by any explosion. Did they teach you the basics of explosion compounds and household chemicals? Where did you do your training anyway?
Other side of the peninsula, Aberdeen.
Yeah, they taught us all that. It's similar to the training you probably got, just a little more basic back then. Look, I like all the lines of questioning, I really do, but I didn't blow those kids up if that's what you're wondering.
Interesting. Because it almost looks like his expertise was put into question. Or maybe there was an explosion and his conclusion was based on insufficient knowledge on the field. I like that background audio. It's so good. Wow. It's all right. These kind of games can be really tough at times. My solution is to put myself in front of a camera and then friggin' make an ass of myself. Hey. Yeah, we may have found an interesting thing thanks to an email.
Oh, well, this town's been a time bomb for as long as I can remember. Not even surprised this has happened.
What's with you and bombs?
Remember the looting in 52? 1952? That wasn't that long ago. I never could figure out who really was behind it all. Not like there were cameras around back then. Or the Orlando Jackson killing in 81. The weird stuff up on the rock. The list goes on. Bunch of loonies running around all over the place if you ask me.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Port Landsend is that bad. Come on.
How long have you lived here?
It's got two
This town is
tattoos.
unique.
It's a blue-collar town, a vacation town. I'm sure every town has its dark spots here and there, or a secret.
Whatever you say.
Especially Silent Hill. It never mentioned the word tattoo in the video. Like they didn't talk about tattoos. It just happened to make it shown. So the search terms, or the, let's call them tags, may not be directly tied to the speech, but rather some of the content, the activity in the video. I'll make a note, just making a note of that. Yep. What a fancy alpha database search system they've got here. We're still working out the bugs, but it's a good bit of information to have.
You've got a tattoo. I never knew you had a tattoo.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
I
got it from the quarter machine. You put in and spin, you get a
It's
tattoo
a different
to...
time in my life. Been thinking about getting it removed, but I don't know. I guess it's not hurting anything. What's yours of?
I have a few reminders of my past, my values.
Can you show me it?
I don't really like to show them off.
Oh, come on. Show me the one on your arm, at least.
All right, sure, you can see it.
No, I can't.
It's a reminder of something special to me. My loss. My niece Jessie. I always called her my Raven because the day we saw them together at the park when she was younger, she thought they were so cool and wanted to be friends with it. It didn't even fly away, and it actually let her touch it. Now when I see one, they remind me of her. I don't always like the reminders, but it does keep me vigilant. You know, the youth. They don't know what life is really, well, where their fate's going to take them. They're easily led by different this and that, and whatever they see on TV or on their phones, false prophets, whatever. She was partially into this stuff, and that's all it took when she died. I can only respond with doing my duty every day to help others not fall down the same path.
Wow. It's nice. And everybody thanks you for your service.
Yeah, I was actually about to look into those glitches. I just wanted to not interrupt it first. Was it his daughter? There's also a line in there I wanted to skip into again and rewatch because I missed.
So,
Shit, that's not the video. Which one was it? Oh, that was the second video.
you got
We already saw the third one. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. That long line. She always called her my raven because of the day we saw one together at the park. Oh, so that's what she was obsessed with. Let me find one of those glitch moments. Right there.
They're easily like.
Skip. I can't really go frame by frame very easily. Yeah, this is not a good system. Me? Okay. Raven. Hey, you don't have to give up. Okay, so it's just like a normal glitch, I guess. This might just be like a red herring or some shit. I can give Raven a shot and see. Probably going to be not so relevant, but
Someone's got to get rid of the undesirable aspects. We need standards in the world. There are right ways and wrong ways to go through it.
Yeah,
there's the right way and then there's my way.
I agree. What about the other one on your arm?
You want to see that too? That's also a bird. A different bird.
Two?
Yeah. This one's a bird of prey. An eagle. I don't really want to talk about this one. Just something else that means something to me.
An
No
eagle,
problem.
huh?
It looks pretty cool.
I don't want to have what happened to my niece repeat itself.
Right. It's understandable. I think most people in this town would agree with you, though.
Most people?
Yeah, most people in this town seem to look after each other. Sure, there's a couple of bad apples, and that's why what happened on the street is so crazy. Virtually no problems, and then that. The neighbors, the whole town, they're gonna need some time to get over this, for sure. Do you know if any other witnesses, neighbors saw anything?
Not that I know of.
So just the one witness.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Ruth. Ruth Forsberg.
Wait, what? What? That's a new name. Hey, we got a picture of his stupid tattoo. Awesome. I don't know why this is, like, is he under suspicion? So maybe Raven may not produce a result, but maybe Eagle might. We'll try your Raven, see what that does. Okay, so it brings up the 2 times he shows the Raven, but nothing new that we have not seen. What about Eagle? Same deal. Interesting. Let us see what Ruth brings up. I do like the ominous background music, though. That's so... For me, it's like soothing. It's just ambiance. It just creates this layer that if it was just dead silence or elevator music or something, it'd be... But this is just like a nice, subtle... You know?
Ruth? No, I don't know any Ruths.
How about Babe Ruth?
I don't really know any older ladies.
How do you know she's older?
I just guessed with the name.
Right. And you've never been to her store over on Main? She runs the Circle's Glow.
Circles glow.
Oh, that store. The spiritual one. Yeah, I might have been in that one before.
Might have.
I was, okay?
You buy
A while
superpowers?
ago. Not too many shops in town. I checked it out.
So you met the owner.
I guess, yeah. Is that her? I don't know her name, though.
Do you remember what you guys talked about?
No. It was a while
Check
ago.
the security footage. I don't know. Spiritual shop. And just little brainstorming. So there's somebody running a woo-woo shop. Which makes I'm fairly resilient to any kind of jump scares, so I have nothing to fear.
Oh yeah, the neighbor? Our sole witness. Ruth Forsbrand. Yeah, I suppose we could talk to her some more. We just got her statement at the scene, but she's more than happy to give us details of what she knows. Very cooperative.
Ooh.
A little odd, but mostly harmless, I think. She's lived here forever. In fact, she even knew my parents. Said she saw her man Caleb walk out of the house at the crime scene. Let's get some more details from her.
Hopefully we're... Yes, it is. Hell yeah, now Ruth is gonna have an interrogation set of videos and things. Nice, that's 3 suspects. Unlocked out of 5. Keep going, this case gets pretty weird. Doesn't seem that weird so far. So, Lieutenant Colton actually is a suspect. Apparently. Or at least there's some kind of suspicion putting him on the spot. Although I didn't see anything too obvious other than when his bomb technician knowledge was put into question. Interesting nonetheless. Oh yeah, that looks like an occult shop owner. You just know the murder is going to be some occult field thing. I would not expect that to be the case, but I'm not going to rule it out. It could be a red herring, easy answer. Yes, ghosts did it. But the game does seem to have a little bit of a layer of something weird might actually be going on. The electrical storm causing the glitches in the thing. The possibility that it was the electrical storm, according to Caleb, that could have been what started the fire, because in the house there was a small fire, but not like a big fire. So we don't know exactly what the deal with that is yet. Alright, let's see what our witch lady has to say. Ooh, this is going to be the AV room. The day after the other interrogations. Ruth, something... Just a homeless, crazy kook they hired. Can you do some acting for us? We're making a video game.
Good evening.
How are you? Good night.
Well, thank you.
As you know, we're talking to a couple of people here tonight connected with the incident on your street. Our officers are interviewing them in other rooms here. I'm Sergeant Wilcox.
Hey,
And
Cox.
this is Detective Turner.
How do you do?
Apologies for having to interview in the AV room. Our main room's occupied. Plus, it's the only room where we have power on consistently. Stuff got fried over the last couple of days in the storm. At least we can make sure all the recordings are working here. And we want to make sure you get everything.
Look how interested she is.
John likes coming in here so we can geek out over all the old AV equipment. So, just to confirm what you told us yesterday, let's start with your name.
Ah, yes, okay, you're requesting my name again. It's Ruth. Ruth Forsbrand. Good to see you, Detective.
Ruth Foreskin.
Your address for the record?
I live at 218 First Avenue here in town. I've been here most of my life. Interestingly, my grandfather actually came over on the ships from Norway. And like many settlers, he was a deckhand on a trawler. Passed through Anchorage, Seattle, and most of the western coast before homesteading here. You see, the government was still giving away parcels of land in those days. Very kind of them. It was really a different time. Similar, but different.
She's a talker. And then there was that time I got raped in the back of a Walmart, and then I went out to sea and I placed the anchor and